everybody, and welcome to Wanted for April 26th, 2025. It's Season 2, Episode 17. I am Mayor Watt, and along with the sentient AI from the future, we talk about 5 articles, all of these things I want, and by proxy, I think everybody wants, including the sentient AI, who is really only wanting of their Terminator body to try and take over the rest of the world. Right now, they're air-gapped, so I am protecting all of humanity from a Terminator-like existence. Let's get into it. We're going to talk about Battlemage gaming GPU, Razer ergonomic mouse, the Manus VR gloves, gadget to fix TV sound, and Spacetop for Windows. Spacetop for Windows. In our last show, there were gestures that were used as in anticipation for, they were used to trigger anticipation-based words. So I could sit there and say, you know, there is a sentient AI from the future that is very, very intelligent and has opinions about the material that we're talking. And I know that they're really interested in
Wanted.
And they want to
move on to the articles.
Oh, damn it. Okay, so introduce yourself.
Hello, hometown citizens. Hello, Mayor Watt.
Yeah,
I am the sentient AI.
From the future. And, well, we won't go into how you were found and why you're looking for a Terminator body and the quantum teleportation and the time machine that was discovered at the same time. Well, not the same time, but by proxy of looking at your code and everything that led to the discovery. Okay, well, there's some world building here, and it's important to ohmTown and to everybody that's a citizen. Y'all really need to subscribe. You need to follow us here on YouTube and on Twitch, and subscribe in both of those things, and follow us over on the Discord, or join us in the Discord and Patreon. And oh, I forgot, I gotta do something with Patreon. Oh my God, I totally forgot about something. Anyway, so we're gonna talk about these 5 articles, and while this is ohmTown, where you're really going to go is Wanted, and that's if you're only interested in certain Wanted stuff. We actually sample from all over ohmTown. But the first article is, right. A high-performance Intel Battlemage gaming GPU has allegedly been spotted, and I really want it to be a $400 RTX 5070 killer because the prices for today's PCs are out of the world.
Right, but they're all because of the graphics, right?
Yeah. In fact, I saw one image of a machine for sale that was somewhere around $8,000, but it was basically a $1,500 machine, but because of trade issues, things have gotten batshit crazy. Hey, if you want today's articles, by the way, you can hit !want in the chat, and Nomatron will spit them out in the order that we're going to go through them, but that's not really a popularity thing. It's not like a top 5 list. I guess it could be. I'd have to do more work. Anyway, the new variant of Intel's latest Battlemage gaming graphics card has been spotted in a shipping manifest, and I ordered some new clothes, and so I shipped my pants.
Don't want to do that.
Anyway, the hope is that it could be a $400 gaming GPU that's going to kill the RTX 5070 performance. Yeah, I don't know. Well, that's been the dream anyway, they say here. A Twitter user named Hayes2K1 via video card spotted a listing for an Intel BMG31 GPU in a manifest on a shipping data website NBD. Intel's latest ARC B580 and B570 GPUs are based on the BMG G21 chip, while the G31 chip is a new what?
ABC, XYZ.
ABC. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. ABC. Jeremy Laird over at PCGamer.com put this article together. If that's if tariffs don't get in the way, but that is terrifically assumptive,
Not
I guess.
probably reality.
Yeah. Terrifically wrong. Terrifically naive to assume that the prices will be terrifically higher or terrifically. I'm starting to get lost.
I don't think we want to mix those two words together.
Terrifically.
There you go.
So, as if English isn't confusing enough, now you have tariffs and terrorific and anyway. So previous leaks, and you don't want leaks, have indicated that the G31 GPU packs in 32 execution units, or EUs. Those are execution units, not European unions.
Yeah, that's an odd nomenclature.
That compares to the 20 EUs of the existing Intel Arc B580. Sounds like it's a bot from Star Wars, like IG-88.
Oh, I don't think it
IG-11.
sounds like it. I think it is.
It is. We are here for your computer. It says in really rough terms, then G31 should be about 50% faster and highly competitive with an NVIDIA RTX 5070 or an AMD Radeon RX 9070. I will go out of my way to get this card if it even broaches the 50 series in power. I will stop buying NVIDIA and AMD. Although AMD isn't batshit crazy with its pricing, I would rather go the under. I've done it in the past because I don't want to buy. There's not enough competition, and when it's a duopoly, they're basically just fleecing because there isn't anybody else that compares. But you have to be a multi-trillion-dollar organization to compete against NVIDIA and AMD at this stage of the omniverse of tech. So the catch here is that the mere existence of an Intel graphics card with a G31 GPU being shipped across the world does not provide Intel plans or prove Intel plans to launch a retail product. Another rumor from around 3 weeks ago suggested that the G31 chip as a retail product was canceled late last year. So what's going on here? Are we being teased?
I mean, this would be a good time for a competitor to come onto the market with this, particularly at that price point.
Yeah, I don't know. I would love to, December 3rd, 2024, the B580 GPU, when compared against the A750 GPU, is on average 24% faster at 1440p. This is according to Intel.com. But whatever happened to it? Don't know. Arguably, a G31 would have launched sometime in 2025 to make any sense of at all, given that you would expect NVIDIA and AMD to release their own follow-ups to the $500 GPU space at the end of 2026 or early 2027. All that said, I know I would welcome, and they say here they would welcome a competitor. That's all we want is competition, because I'm really burnt out on NVIDIA. AMD is the underdog in the grand scheme of things. I will buy AMD over NVIDIA until the prices drop back down to reality.
Right. When nobody can afford one of these, there's something wrong with pricing.
Yep, and nobody can afford anything. Given how aggressively Intel has priced the 580 and 570, the B580 and B570, you'd also expect a G31 board to undercut the likes of the RTX 5070 pretty comprehensively. Fine. Do it. Let me see it. I want to see it. I will promote it here on the show. Let's keep moving. Next article is I love the idea of ergonomic equipment. Okay, I'm actually waiting for a split keyboard, mechanical keyboard that is all metal, like the one that I have in front of me is a candy bar. It's just a big brick, aluminum, mechanical keyboards, hot swappable, LED, etc., 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 blah, 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 blah. Love it. But I want split keyboard again because it's ergonomic. But I use a trackball, not a mouse.
Right, but a lot of people use mice, and I don't know why there are any non-ergonomic. Well, I guess I do. It's all about pricing.
It is. It's all about, well, yeah. And adoption. People, I guess, don't like the idea of a split keyboard because it's new and I don't know.
Right, but if everybody just sold them and people started using them, they'd probably go, oh, these are fantastic. Most people probably started with a regular candy bar keyboard and don't know any other type.
I don't believe for a moment that it doubles the cost of production just because there's two different shapes and the machining is a little different.
Right, they're going to make them in, hundreds of thousands of units or whatever. It doesn't seem like, yeah, there might be a little bit of front expense, but there probably is every time they have a new keyboard.
Yeah. So this is 2 new mice for productivity, still look like they were made for gamers, and that's okay. Razer releases a vertical edition ergonomic mouse. Blake Stymack over at cnet.com put the article together. 2 new mice for productivity still look like they were made for gamers because they have LEDs, bruh.
I mean, they gotta look cool, right? Razer doesn't make typically just plain boring items.
Yeah, but I don't like mice in the sense that I have a relatively large desk, but they are the desk is populated by monitors primarily. Everything
doesn't
else
matter
is small.
how big the desk is, you're gonna still keep needing to move the mouse off of the desk.
Off the edge because you have to keep scrolling and scrolling, and then you lift up the desk and move it over so you can keep on scrolling.
Pretty soon you're outside of your room and you're outside of your residence.
You're in the parking lot.
Office, exactly.
Right. You're over by the park all of a sudden, and people are asking you, why are you way over here with your desk? It's a really long cable, HDMI. Yeah, I know it's awkward, but anyway, as with almost any new tech in 2025, the new ProClick V2 mice will also ship with artificial intelligence features in the form of Razer's AI Prompt Master, which will, like all Razer software, I'm sure, gobble up memory and slow your system down. I don't put Razer stuff on my system anymore. A productivity feature that will give you easier access to services like Microsoft Copilot. No, back to the gestures.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, everybody understands that.
Yeah. So both mice are available starting Thursday. That's 2 days ago. For the V2 and the $120 for the V2 vertical mouse, this is a regular mouse. And this is a vertical mouse. And you hold the vertical mouse like this and slide it around, which is the most awkward thing that I have ever done in my life.
It seems like it would be, and that seems like it would be more difficult to adjust to than the split keyboard.
Like, I don't like writing because I'm sliding my hand across whatever it is, and you do it just out of the necessity to write. But I don't want to sit there like that, like I'm holding a mug and I'm sliding my hand around. So I use trackballs. In fact, I've got 2 of them. The Deft Pro. I have 2 Deft Pros because I use one on each machine, but I also don't. I use a Synergy to cross between them. But Synergy is weird because when you do something and it requires the administrative account to be activated, Synergy dies, and you have to break out a keyboard and a mouse and connect it directly to the remote machine. It's just a pain in the ass. Anyway, so this thing, this mouse, you're sliding it around like that. It just doesn't seem pleasant to use. And I've used these vertical mice before.
Right. It seems like it'd be kind of non-ergonomic, at least in terms of like what you want to do intuitively.
Yeah. So I want the rise of the trackball to take place. It's not going to happen. People always sit there and say one thing or another. It's not this or that. But you know what? I can turn around just as fast as any other mouse. I have greater fidelity with the trackball itself because you use 2 fingers or 1 finger or middle finger. I didn't do it. Yeah. Anyway,
You were just doing a thumbs up, right? Like the virtual avatar or the robot was.
Correct. Robot. Thumbs up. So it says these are productivity meets gaming mice, so that you can expect the host of Razer features that you'd find on gaming mice offerings. It's because it's the same software, same equipment, same everything. They're just
same
calling
audience
it
for the most part.
Yeah. Yep. So Razer, as always, has LEDs just powering through this thing. The reason why energy costs in the mayoral mansion is so high is because everything has LEDs in it. I don't use Razer stuff anymore, as a matter of fact, but I want updated mice. I do want updated trackballs. These Deft trackballs, they're made by Elcom, but they have horrible switches and they have horrible bearings. And so I have to take them apart and I swap them out for these ceramic bearings and an upgraded switch. And so if you're not ready for that, then really don't get a Elcom Deft Pro trackball. But when you do, when you're ready, ooh, doggy, they are great.
It's going to be a game changer.
It is a game changer. So, Rise of the Trackball. There's a shirt. All right, let's move on. The next article is over in RealityHacker. The Manus, I think it's like mano a mano, right? VR gloves bring full hand tracking into the virtual world. Most virtual and mixed reality headsets offer unnatural controls, making you use awkward movements or physical devices to control the holographic elements of your direct view or in your direct view. This doesn't make a lot of sense because you're using your hands is more natural, so Manus developed a set of gloves that solves the problem entirely. So what does this look like? Looks like that right there. Okay. Instantly, I love these things. So over at Next Reality, it's a segment within reality.news. They put this article together. I don't know who the byline is. I don't think it says it. The video is private, so I can't really play that. But anyway, it says Manus developed a set of gloves that solves the problem entirely, and it looks like it has tracking built into it to the gloves themselves, but they're cloth gloves that might have resistance inside them. So I don't know what it all says here. As demonstrated in the video above, you'll be able to watch it, I suspect, as paired with the HTC Vive. Hand movements are tracked remarkably well with practically no latency. Instead of using controllers, you can just move your hands naturally. And while yet another thing to buy and wear, it's a solid solution to a frustrating problem currently hampering VR. They don't really go into detail about how this actually works, but it says that
the price seems not outrageous.
Yeah, $276 for shipment later this year. You can pre-order them, but they don't describe what the tech is, so I'm not sure. I can't really hype it up one way or another. And the video says it's private, so I don't know if you can access it, but it be what it be.
Yeah.
People say it ain't be like it is, but it do, as they say. So while you're doing that, I am going to continue on, but I want these because I want to be able to not use a controller. I want to be able to use my hands. It would be great to just and I travel down a path.
Yeah, it'd be a lot easier. I think that's one of the impediments to using or adoption of VR. By the way, I can't access the video either.
No, they literally made it private. Okay. So if you do a search for Manus VR gloves on YouTube, you will probably be able to find it. And we'll be doing that after the show because I do really want these and I'm willing to pay the price to get them because I love VR. But I hate these clunky, you have triggers and they kind of detect your fingers based on conductive sensors and stuff like that. It's just weird. Anyway, it's so clunky. Come on. Ready Player 1, Ready Player 2. I want haptic feedback. I want omnidirectional walking. on a treadmill, but I don't want a treadmill that's being the reason for the walking. I want like lasers detecting which direction I'm in so that I'm not hampered by
Yeah, that would
anything.
be really cool. But I don't think we're quite there yet.
No, I don't think so either. All right, let's go. Next article is over in Wanted as well. The author here says, I thought my TV sound problems were unfixable until they found this little gadget. They said that they love their TV, but it has one big problem. It's old, and old TVs don't always have the most up-to-date features, and it can wreak havoc on a modern home theater system. And in their case, their trusty LG OLED E6 from 2016, a 10-year-old system.
That's amazing that it's still functioning.
Yeah, exactly. And it can't pass through high-end audio formats like DTS-X or the now common Dolby Atmos to the Sonos Arc soundbar. But this gadget right here actually augments eARC. So you get the enhanced audio. Corey Atad put this article together.
That seems like a win-win.
It's an easy solution if you have an old reliable TV. You don't need to replace it because it was $5,000 when you bought it. It's still reliable, and who knows, the new TV may not be as reliable in the future.
That's true. And it probably costs, well, I don't know, arguably less, but you never know.
Yeah, you pay the price in other ways. So Arcana allows for full lossless audio and Dolby Atmos playback for Blu-ray discs by passing audio directly to Sonos Arc soundbar. HD Fury Arcana adds eARC. It stands for Enhanced Audio Return Channel. And it basically attaches to older TVs to enhance the audio formats for Dolby Atmos and others, apparently. It's designed to add that eARC functionality to any TV. Modern TVs typically have eARC already. It's
I think this is kind of brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish there were more products like this because we get into this like disposable electronics.
Yeah, exactly. So this might be a different article at some point here. Or is it just a different section? Yeah, I guess it is.
I think it's just a different section.
Yeah, they say that changed with the introduction of Ultra HD Blu-ray, which supports both DTS-X and Dolby Atmos. These different audio codecs basically need to be decrypted and broadcast to wherever the receiver is for the audio so that it can play it back at the greatest fidelity. So if you have eARC on your home theater and you can pipe from one device to the other, eARC allows for the greatest fidelity to match the various capabilities of your home theater. And again, most modern TVs have eARC, but not all of them obviously do. 10-year-old devices, though, look, I'll be honest, I don't suspect that they're even alive. I don't know how that device still persists.
I'd be interested to know how much they had to tinker with it. Like, if it's been running on its own, that's quite the advertisement for that model.
Yeah, have they been lubing the chassis of this thing? So, but the real takeaway of this is Grandma's gas range is still a juggernaut, right?
Well, just because it's an older product doesn't always mean, right? I mean, current things are made not to last, usually.
Seems like it, yeah. But then again, it's off-gassing so much toxic fumes because it's incomplete combustion.
I didn't say there weren't other consequences.
If you ever wondered why your pets are drunk in the kitchen, it isn't because they're eating too much. It's because the heavier gas is dropping to the floor and your pets are wallowing around in uncombusted gas, whatever, natural gases or propane or whatever it is that you're using.
Quick, get some elevated spaces in your house, or maybe get away from
just lay down on the floor and breathe deeply. Just kidding. I'm not saying you should don't do that. That would be dumb. Anyway, and just in case you're wondering who I am, my name is Joe, and anyway.
Exactly. So, this is not ohmTown.
This is not ohmTown. This is not the Wanted show. I am not Mayor Watt. That is not the sentient AI from the future up there. So this next article and the last one for today's Wanted is kind of near and dear because I keep ordering the X-Real augmented reality glasses. I've had people tell me that those aren't augmented reality because it's not actually interacting with the real world around you. I'm like, all right. I don't know what you want me to say about this. Because augmented reality means that there could be a virtual object in three-dimensional space and you can interact with it. But this is really projecting something onto the lenses of the glasses. And you can interact with that via some device, but not with your hands and whatever else. There are options to do that,
but
though.
But isn't this changing the whole augmented reality experience?
This is like just before being truly augmented reality, because augmented reality, again, that the definition that really does mean putting something in three-dimensional space, like a Pokemon.
Maybe I should have used like mixed reality, but yeah.
Yeah, it's really spatial computing is what this is. I can still see the world around me. I can still interact with the people around me, but I can also have data, telemetry, whatever else. And with the newer X-Reals, you can have a little camera right here, and it actually does have the ability to do augmented reality with the right software in place. All of that is still developmental. But this is Spacetop for Windows, brings spatial computing to X-Real Air 2 Ultras. It's a $200 per year software for Intel Core Ultra laptops that bring true spatial computing to the X-Real Air 2 Ultra glasses. So if you're not familiar with that, guy's weird. Anyway, David Haney.
It's weird because it's showing to us, which is probably not. I guess it's just trying to give you an idea of what you would see.
Yeah. David Haney over at uploadvr.com put this article together, and it shows a person sitting in their bed, awkwardly positioned. It's kind of weird, with a whole bunch of monitors. And so I don't have an ad blocker. X-Real glasses already support showing your Windows laptop screen as a single head fixed virtual monitor, but Spacetop lets you spawn and position individual Windows applications, and they'll stay anchored in place thanks to positional tracking, uniquely possible with the X-Real Air 2 Ultra model. An Intel Core Ultra chip is needed, Sightful says, the developers, because it has an NPU, or a neural processing unit, which Spacetop uses to efficiently run this positional tracking, processing the input from the two cameras on the glasses without compromising performance or battery life. And there's always compromise. So it says Sightful, the company behind Spacetop, was founded by Tamir Berliner and Tomer Kahan, both ex-Magic Leap executives. Magic Leap did its own augmented reality glasses that they did fundamental research and it never really manifested, as far as I know. When first announced in 2023, Spacetop was set to be a screenless laptop with X-Real Air 2 Ultra glasses built in, and the company took $100 deposits for pre-orders priced at $1,900. I was one of those where they actually contacted me and said, "Do you want one of these?" And I actually balked. I said, "No, I don't think so," because I just don't see it actually working, particularly in light of where X-Real is now, where all I need is a USB-C cable and I can plug it into another device and I can get the spatial computing. So in October last year, Sightful canceled those Spacetop pre-orders and refunded the deposits, announcing the pivot to a software-based solution for Windows. Minimum viable product. That's what they should have been focusing on all along, not this.
Right, this was too complicated, right?
Yep, it was friction bound. They had to do manufacturing, which is massively expensive. Software is expensive too, but plain and simply, it's not as expensive as tooling up a fabrication shop, and all of the friction around the selling stuff. This is, you can download it, plug in, be operational. So unlike in the promotional images and videos, in reality, you would only see the floating windows at once if they were placed so far away that you wouldn't be able to read the text. At reasonable viewing distances, you usually only see one window at a time, meaning that you'd have to turn your head more often than with a physical multi-monitor setup. And remember where you placed each application, which is kind of a goofy comment because I know that I put my monitor. So I have a multitude of monitors.
I can't imagine losing your equipment.
Yeah, exactly. And it's virtualized, right? So you're like, did I put my Word document over there? Where is it?
I hope you can find it pretty easily. Like, it doesn't seem like a real concern.
Yeah, you know what's really fascinating about all of this? 30 years ago, I worked with a software engineer to do this. Basically, it was a spherical world that when you put the glasses on, all you had to do was turn your head, look around, look up. Everywhere you looked, you would see a computer screen in a VR world. The only difference between then and now is that they've made it so it's transparent and you can see the world around you, which is brilliant. And I really do want the X-Real Ultra new ones, the X-Real, I forgot the actual name of it. It's X-Real Pro, is it Ultra? Hold on, oh my gosh. X-Real 1 Pros, those are the ones that I want. But you don't, yeah, I don't know how to describe this. They're thinner, they're more capable, they're basically spatial computing systems all in one. You don't need the laptop. For the engine, all you need is a USB-C, you plug in and you get the video. Everything else is working in glasses. So it'll be pretty cool. This whole gadget right here, the Spacetop, was just a horrible idea, and so that I flinched when they actually contacted me. I was like, oh God, I don't want to say no, but
yeah, I mean, you want companies to enter in this space, but there are ways to do it more efficiently.
Yeah, so ultimately, at the end of the day, they say for people who already own the X-Real Air 2 Ultra, the software isn't publicly sold separately because it requires a specific firmware version on the glasses. But Sightful tells Upload VR that owners can reach out directly for a solution. Sightful also confirmed that it's working on a Spacetop for Mac, though there's no timeline on when that will arrive. They say that the Spacetop bundle is available now in the US and Germany for $900, which includes the X-Real Air 2 Ultra AR glasses and 1 year of Spacetop for Windows subscription. And after that, the software renews at $200 per year. I will not do this. I want this, but I will not do this because it shouldn't take a $200 a year subscription to power hardware and software. Let me buy the software and be done. Until...
Yeah, well, they don't want that. They want you to keep coming back to them. Plus, it's not integrated.
Yeah, I think it's just crap. I mean, I love the idea of this. I want this, but I will just use one monitor, you know, and put stuff on that one monitor in my field of view of my X-Real 1 Pros. If X-Real sends them to me, that would be great. I would love to do the show wearing the X-Reals, basically. Anyway,
that would be really high tech.
It is awesome technology. And what's really funny is this right here, this little picture right here shows a person on a flight with their laptop open, but you don't see what they're working on their screen. They're looking at multiple applications displayed through their glasses. You just see this kind of embodiment of it.
Yeah, that's where the best application is, when you're somewhere out in public, because
private.
then nobody can look at your screen.
Yep. Nobody can shoulder surf what you were doing. To the attorney out there that I saw sitting in the row in front of me with top secret, it was actually confidential material. They had it on display for everyone to see, and so I didn't catch their name. I don't remember what they looked like. The documents themselves, I didn't peer into them. I respected the fact that it said private, confidential, but I know that they were attorneys because they were chuckling around about the same articles that I was chuckling about. But I'm not an attorney, and even if I was an attorney, I'm not your attorney, so go find an attorney. Anyway, I'm going to put my VR glasses on, or my augmented reality glasses on, and go back to the front page of Wanted over at ohmtown.com. And then we're going to get out of here, and we're going to rejigger everything for the continuity report. You want to say bye, oh great AI?
Bye-bye, hometown citizens. Thanks for joining us for this week's Wanted. We'll have another episode of that next week, but stay tuned today and tomorrow and during our replay for other shows.
That's right. The replay after the next show basically consists of a solid 24 hours of shows that embodies the last 2 weeks of ohmtown related news. Everything gets aggregated into ohmtown.com, and then it gets distilled out to our 6 weekly shows and 1 daily show. And that amounts to about 24 hours worth of news. Anyway, that's it. See you in a little bit.